Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all well. I hope you had a good Christmas and looking forward to an interesting new year, and let's hope it's far better than this one. It may not start off so well, mind it, but hopefully it will improve. Let's hope, fingers crossed. That's all we can do, isn't it? Yeah, welcome to the Citizen channel, and I look back at a boxing night game. I think with Storm Bella hitting us, I think if fans had been there last night, I think it might have been called off for the safety of the fans. It was that bad, and I'd just like to say to both teams, well done on not a bad game. I thought both teams, not just City, but I thought Newcastle played quite well as well, considering the conditions. Well, until Andy Carroll come on anyway and tried to knock a couple of our players out. But someone got his own back, didn't he, on him? So that wasn't too bad. So yeah, we've got to have a look at Manchester City versus Newcastle. 26th of December. 8 p.m. kickoff. Of course, we'll have our usual features, highlights, lowlights of the game, some talking points, match stats, plus the quirky stats. Our Pep here till 2023, of course he is watch. I'm not even going to question that this time, perhaps. Manchester Evening News, Mr. Bukowski's ratings and my ratings. A couple of media headlines. I'm recording this quite early, so there's not too much in of any interest. I mean, they're all quite boring headlines, but we'll have a quick look at that anyway. Please, if you're new to this channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications, and all these Citizen vlogs are coming out. And please, I do City Past, City Present, City quizzes, lots and lots of stuff on there. If you check the playlist, that'd be wonderful. If you have any City supporting friends as well, please point me in my direction. I'd be very grateful. And if you do check the playlist, you'll see I do little stuff on film and TV as well. I have a film and TV channel, which I combine with this. Obviously, that's another love of mine, film and TV, always has been. So I do reviews on films and information vlogs, etc. So if that's of any use to you or interest to you or anyone you know, just point me in my direction. That's wonderful. But this is football today, and please, I've made a quick, just a minute and a half, just under 90 seconds little video for the memorial that City did last night before the game for the obviously the City links with people that have sadly passed during 2020. So I've just done a 90-second. There'll be a link on screen and a link below. So please take your time to just have a quick look at that and a quick thought to yourself while that's on for just my little tribute and my little memorial thing. I thought it was nice that City do it. I thought we'd do it and perhaps share it with you if you perhaps missed it or something like that. So please check that out. That'd be wonderful. Right, let's go on to the game. Right, here we go. Starting lineup, yeah, 7 changes to the Arsenal game, which was no surprise. That was a Carabao Cup game, wasn't it? I mean, one was forced, obviously, with Jesus now, and obviously Walker didn't play anyway, but with Jesus falling out of having COVID, I hope they get better soon, plus the 2 other guys who got it, I hope all 4 of them get better soon, and they've not... One of the other things who's not passed, it's not incubating in some of the other players. I don't know how these things work, but it is very worrying, isn't it? The 11 last night: Edison, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Ake, Gundogan, Rodri, De Bruyne as captain, Bernardo, Torres, and Sterling. Nice to see Bernardo back. Subs, yeah, 9 subs now, 9 subs. Stefan, it's getting like the Champions League. Stefan, Aguero, Zinchenko, Laporte, Mendy, Fernandinho, Mahrez, Foden, Palmer. I still won't play them, but I mean, we've got them there anyway, haven't we? Yeah, I mean, I got 7 correct, which allowing for the fact I had Walker and Jesus in my 11. Wasn't too bad, was it? I mean, I had Edison, Walker, Diaz, Stones, Mendy, Rodri, Bernardo, Foden, Sterling, Jesus and Torres. So, yeah, so not that bad, really. Nice to see Bernardo in, as I said. Ake preferred to Mendy. Well, there you go. That says it all, and thankfully it was, because I thought Ake had an excellent game last night, but more on him in a moment. Foden again, obviously Pep made some comments again this week about his, in more or less, or to sum it up, he said he was a bit like a bull in a china shop, so that's why he's not been playing. So there you go. I mean, and the rain's hammering against the window, so Miss Bella's still around, isn't she? Yeah, so yeah, I think Foden has to do a lot more to get into Pep's plans. I think he's sort of more or less told us why he's not starting regularly with a couple of the comments he's made over the last few days. Yeah, the Gundogan Rodri double pivot didn't go down overly well on the pre-match social media. Someone commented, Pep always plays Gundogan ahead of Foden, most likely start against Everton on Monday. Yeah, I've done a team for Monday. I didn't do it in my preview because obviously I did a double preview, didn't I? Double pivot preview. So I do commit myself at the end of this vlog anyway. So if you want to see my Everton team, my team for Everton. Glad to see Bernardo starting, said someone else, as well as Torres. Results have gone our way today, so 3 points is a must. It certainly was. Foden just isn't getting a chance. in the Premier League for some reason. Well, I think I've partly explained that. Go on media and just see what Pep's saying about him. Pep would rather start a right back or a centre back at left back. That tells you everything you need to know about Mendy. It probably does. I would be surprised if we don't sign a left back soon. Yeah, never know. Right, the refs on the night. The officials: Andre Mariner. Assistant Scott Ledger, Richard West. Fourth official Andy Madeley. VAR Mr Lee Mason. Assistant VAR Matthew Wilkes. So the nights, yeah, what an awful night. Wet, windy conditions. So all my scores and comments allow for the facts of the conditions as well last night. But Newcastle started brightly. They didn't go on the defence. They had a quick goal, didn't they, for a few minutes. But the first panic was on 6 minutes for them, even though they did have a lot of the ball. When one of their defenders sort of sliced it over his own bar, which sort of bodes well for later on in the game, doesn't it? When they start to panic just a little bit when City put them under pressure. But it wasn't long, was it? I mean, at 14 minutes we had to wait before the first goal to settle our nerves a little bit. It didn't change Newcastle's game plan too much. I mean, I think most teams accept 1-0's okay. It's if it starts getting away from them. So a great ball from Cancelo, obviously, to Sterling, who appeared to wait too long, didn't he? I thought he dithered, but he found Gundogan, who found space in the middle. About Newcastle guys were too busy just trying to get back on the line without looking for City players, I think. So that allowed Gundogan to find some space, and he side-footed home nicely. KDB had a cross-come shot, didn't he? Produced an okay save from the keeper. I think it was going in, so he had to make the save. Torres had a weak finish on 24 minutes. 34 minutes, Rodri was booked for a professional foul. Yeah, we expect it from further, don't we? Did he need to do it? Perhaps the guy was getting away, but yeah, he's got to know when to do it, hasn't he? That's the thing. 35 minutes, KDB showed his total lack of confidence in front of goal. He was put through, wasn't he, by Torres, and he delayed his shot, and then he was waiting for someone to pass to, but a confident KDB just strode on and put that in the net, to be honest with you. So that was a little bit disappointing. He needs to start scoring some goals. He needs to get that confidence back, doesn't he? He's not playing, but it's not you can just see it missing. He's all right in the middle of the field trying to spray it about, but when he comes to near the goal, he does lack that little bit of confidence. So a good save by the keeper. I think KDB tried to put it through his legs, but straight at him, we'll say, shall we? Sterling was lively. Yeah, he was lots lively this threat. I made a note of Sterling. He made 3 or 4 excellent runs where he just kept on side, and obviously, but again, Sterling doesn't always make the right decision at the moment, does he? So even though he got through, we didn't add to that scoreline anyway, did we? They had a half chance, didn't Newcastle, just before the half time. Edison had to make a nice save from Edison, and then we did have a chance just before the 2 minutes of injury time. Cancelo couldn't control a long through ball, could he? With just near the end, and the 2 minutes injury time, Newcastle put us under pressure. That just showed how 1-0 isn't anything, is it? And 1-0, anything can happen with 1-0. And Newcastle, that last couple of minutes of the first half injury time, they had a corner and a free kick around the box, and he very, very nearly got an equaliser. It just shows 1-0 wasn't enough. I did make a comment that we do need number 2. We need a second goal as quickly as possible in the second half. Second half, yes, 50 minutes, yeah, Stones had a head like a sheriff's badge, we used to call it, or a 50p piece in the modern days, as he headed, met a header and headed it back towards the corner flag so I don't know what happened there, I think it was a corner from KDB, was it? 51 minutes, another good Edison save down to his right from a Newcastle break, a quick speculative shot, but it was a clever shot from the Newcastle player, and Edison did well to save. But 55 minutes, yeah, we got what we needed. We got the 2-0, we got the 2-0 cushion. After it wasn't anything fantastic. It wasn't great foot pressure, was it? It wasn't great, play. It was sort of more or less Newcastle panicking, getting men back, and obviously the defender didn't know what was going on. He ended up trying to put it back out, and it just went straight to Torres, who calmly just side-footed it into the net. So that was it, 2-0. I mean, game over, wasn't it? That's what. So Pep made his first substitution. He brought Ferner on and Rodri off. So that was a good thing in a way. That was an improvement, wasn't it? No offence to Rodri, but obviously when he's on a booking, you never know, do you, in those conditions. 59 minutes, yeah, Sterling somehow misses from 4 yards out. I think he saw it late, but I think he should have done a lot better. And then Bernardo, again, another one who could do with a couple of goals here and there, smashes against the post from a pretty tight angle. 77 minutes. We got a lively Aguero on, didn't we? He was sort of lively for the last 13, 15 minutes, including injury time. Torres went off. 78 minutes. Another comfortable save to his right from Ederson. So another, but under the conditions, these are not bad saves. You know, I mean, that could have easily slipped under at pace on the wet conditions. So all credit to Ederson. 79 minutes. Yeah, Carroll was subbed on, wasn't he, earlier, and gave a forearm smash to Stones, wasn't he? Which you know, the commentator just said he was getting leverage to go for the ball, but I just think it was dirty, to be honest with you. 81 minutes, a great cross from Cancelo, a diving back keeper. I don't think he knew much about it, but Aguero just put the ball on target and it just hit the keeper and was saved. I mean, but I don't think the keeper knew. He committed himself, the keeper. If Aguero had stopped the ball, the keeper would have slid into the net and he would have just been able to place it. But I don't think the keeper knew too much about that point-blank effort, but he was quite happy to save it, obviously. 88 minutes, Cancelo takes out Carroll, doesn't he, and gets a booking for it on behalf of Mr. Stones. So that was nice to see, and he didn't care less, did he, Cancelo, as he took Carroll. Good on you, mate. That was worth it. All right, he gave them a free kick near the corner flag, which so a bit unnecessary, to be honest with you. If that had cost us, we wouldn't be laughing about it, that's for sure. 90 minutes, just to add insult to injury to Mr. Foden. He brings him on in the 90th minute, which is absolute waste of time. I think that's just insulting by Pep. I don't think there's any need. All right, want to kill a bit of time, but I don't think we were under any real pressure at that time to kill a bit of time, to be honest with you. I think it just, we could have just run it out anyway, the 3 minutes injury time. So I was a bit upset with Pep about that one. Yeah, 2-0 full-time. Ref watch Andre Mariner. I think he did a really good job. I mean, let's face it, again, we'll mention the conditions. I think he did a good I mean, there's a couple of things he missed, obviously, but, you know, he got it right. He got the Sterling dive right. I mean, Sterling thinks now if he gets contact, he's just got to go down. So, I mean, there's two levels with Sterling. I mean, all right, mate, try and stay on your feet, but also think about when you're going to go down. I mean, it's not good enough to just get contact and go down. You know, he still had the ball at that stage, so I don't know. So that was a bit of a worry, but obviously Mariner was spot on with that, and the VAR was spot on. I can't complain. So I'm going to give Mariner 7 out of 10. I know that's quite high for a referee. I must be running a temperature here. 7 out of 10. Yeah, well, it is Christmas, isn't it? Yeah, reasonably. It was comfortable, wasn't it, for City in the face? Let's face it, in the awful conditions, where we still play some great football. We'll look at the stats in a minute. We still play some great football, and of course another clean sheet, which is very important. Newcastle, yeah, I mean they're struggling with injuries. They didn't play the star player. He was on the bench, wasn't he? Colin Hulston, is it? Well, they played okay again. Considering the conditions, I thought they played really well. A lot bit panicky in defence, which, you know, City at full flight can make a lot of defences panicky. So I don't hold anything against that. And I think they knew they weren't going to get much at the Etihad. At 1-0, they were still confident they might sneak something, and I think, you know, most of us were a little bit worried by that. But no, I think they were much better than the visit in July. They played much better than that visit, and the 5-0 win then, wasn't it, for City? But I think they should be comfortable mid-table. I think Bruce has got them playing okay for what they are. I mean, that's so all credit to him. I think there's no problems with any threat of relegation for Newcastle this season, which tends to happen most seasons, doesn't it? Match stats: shots 11 by City, not many really, is it? 6 by Newcastle again. Conditions: on target 7 for City, 2 by Newcastle. Possession 76% for City. That's not bad, was it? Passes 859, one of the higher ones for a while for City. 262 for Newcastle. Pass completion, again, in those conditions, all right, the pitch is superb, but the pitch still gets wet and slippery. 90%, 90% for City. That was quite impressive. I was very impressed with that. 74% for Newcastle. 5 fouls by City, 12 by Newcastle. And corners 7 for City and 3 by Newcastle. Yeah, the player ratings, here we go. Mr. Bukowski's in charge for the evening news. My basic score for getting out there, freezing your nads off and enjoying and playing a standard game is 6.5 today. So I'll work around that. And I can tell you now, no one gets less than 6.5 today. Even if they might have slightly deserved it, I'm going to give everyone the minimum. I'm not going to give anyone less. So here we go. Ederson. Simon Bukowski. A comfortable evening for him, but he saved everything that was required and kept the defence pushed up high. He's given him a 7. I'd give him a 7. I'll give him an extra half a point because of a couple of really good saves. Cancelo, normally a right back, but he was everywhere, spending a lot of time near the middle of Newcastle's box and excelling wherever he was. A defence-splitting pass for the first goal, made the second, and the threats all night. He's given him a 9. Yeah, let's give Cancelo a 9. Yeah, I'll give him an 8. I'm not going to go as high as a 9. I'll give him an 8. John Stones. Everything that came his way he was ready for, calmly and coolly putting out fires and moving the ball up the pitch. Guardiola will be encouraged by him trying to break lines. So he's given him a 7 Stones. Yeah, I thought he deserved a good 7.5. Not quite as good as Cancelo, obviously, but I thought he deserved a 7.5. Diaz, the Mr. Dependable that we all expected to fit Aymeric Laporte to be. Another deserved clean sheet for a man who makes the job look easy. It was, yeah. I mean, it was, again, not as obvious as the other guys, as Aki and Stones, for instance. But yeah, he had a good game again. He's given him an 8, Simon. I'll give him a 7. As I say, not quite up to as involved as his other defending partners. Ake, yeah, a surprise inclusion given Mendy was given the night off at Arsenal, but made some important clearances in his own box and useful when defending set pieces. So he's give Ake a 7, only a 7. I give him an 8. I joint highest score. Ake, I thought, considering his last game he played, he didn't do very well and he's not been playing regular. I thought he was superb last night. I thought the crosses that Newcastle did put in, I'm fairly sure that Ake was the one on the end of most of them, heading them clear. They only had about 3 corners, but I think Ake probably cleared all 3 of those corners, plus 2 or 3 free kicks as well. I thought he was excellent coming out with the ball as well. So, yeah, I think you know who might be my man of the match here, even though obviously a lot of people are loving Cancelo, aren't they? Right, Rodri. If football succumbed to another lockdown, it still wouldn't knock Rodri out of the starting 11. A knee in the hip from Matt Ritchie didn't help him get into his stride, and he was subbed early. So he's only given a 6. Yeah, as I said, I'm not giving anyone less than 6.5. So even Rodri, I'll give you 6.5 today, mate. Gundogan, another game spent higher up the pitch and a second straight home match where he's ghosted into the box and scored. His tempo was much needed. He's going to give Gundogan an 8. Yeah, I mean, I'll give him an 8 as well. Please forgive the hoovering in the background. I think someone's already took the tree down. Right, yeah, I'll give Gundogan an 8 as well. I thought it was excellent last night. One of our best players again on a night where everyone performed quite well. KDB, there were some dangerous corners and a few good through balls for Sterling, but he should have put City out of sight when through against Darlow in the first half. So he's only given De Bruyne a 6, which is fair enough. But as I said, I'll stick to my 6.5. He was one of the poorest on the pitch, mainly his finishing. He did put a lot of effort in, a lot of work in last night. I was surprised Pep didn't take him off, to be honest with you. I'm a bit worried about the Everton game now because I think he'd be absolutely shattered. Well, there you go. Sterling linked up very well with Cancelo and showed the intelligence as to run behind the lines, even if he continues to struggle in front of goal. So he's given him a 7. Yeah, I'd give Sterling a 7. I say I'll give him half a point extra. He did the assist, didn't he? And yeah, he made a lot of wrong decisions, but hey, you know, not too bad. At least he was up there. At least he was having a go. Bernardo hit the woodwork in the second half from close range, but a more restrained performance after cutting loose last week. Yeah, again, he wasn't as visible, was he? Simon's given him a 6. I'm going to give him the 6.5. But yeah, it wasn't one of his better ones. I think he maybe played himself out of the Everton game if everyone's fit anyway, but more on that in a bit. Torres, another game up front, another goal. It's credit to the talent of the attacker that he settles so quickly into the team, that he does so in an unfamiliar position. Yeah, he's given him a 7. I'm going to give him a 7.5. He scored the goal and he worked hard, and as Simon said there, he's asked to play in roles that he's never played before, and he's doing a great job. The subs, yeah, Marc Fernandino, because he came on for a while, didn't he? He came on for quite a few minutes. A reliable performance, slotting into his old role with ease. So he's given him a 7. Yeah, I'll give him a 7 as well, because he looked as though he played all the game. He was up with play, he was confident. I was quite happy with Fernandino when he came on. Aguero, I've not marked Aguero, but Simon has. He said, showed his instincts to get free in front of goal, but couldn't beat Darlow. So he gave him a 6, which I think is a bit unfair, to be honest with you. I think he was he was all over the place for that last, 15, 16 minutes with injury time, and I thought he did okay. Yeah, Aguero, I thought he looked committed in those conditions. I was a bit worried when he came on that he'd pull something or slip or do some damage, but all credit to him. And yeah, Foden, I mean, we're not going to mark Foden. It would be an insult. If I give Foden a mark, it'd be 9 because of the fact Pep insulted him by bringing him on so late. So yeah, my Citizen man of the match, Bird Citizen man of the match. Yeah, I do agree with Cancelo had a fantastic game, but I think because of the circumstances, not particularly because he perhaps was the best player on the night, but because of the circumstances and the fact you know, he did have a rubbishy game, the last full game he had for City, to be honest with you. I can't remember who it was now, but he wasn't great at left back, which he was asked to play last time. But this time I thought he was superb, and he had more of a central role as well. So I think he was quite happier there, and that's where he's more comfortable. So yeah, I'm going to give it. If you guessed who it is, yeah, of course, I'm going to give it Aki. But all credits because Cancelo and Gundogan, obviously, if we had joint man of the matches, those three would be my joint man of the matches. But just for the circumstances, I'm going to give it Aki. Yeah, Pep comments. Pep watched till 2020. He seemed all right. He had his nice hood up. Did he look good, didn't he? In his big hood, it was a bit wet. I think he wished he was somewhere a little bit warm, but don't we all? You know, so he did comment. He told BBC Sport that tonight's win over Newcastle was the best performance of the season in terms of everybody's positioning and doing what they had to do. I can't disagree with that, actually. He usually sort of plays up the team, doesn't he? And says we've done better than we have. But I can't argue with him in that. He said we played really well. A tough game with the weather conditions. It was. We struggled to score goals, but we played like we needed to play. Yeah, we still struggled a little bit. Positional play, our back three build-up, we committed really well. The results are a consequence of the way we play. We're getting better. The players realise why it's so important what we do. We missed 2 chances, 2 metres from goal. When we improve here, we will score many goals. Yeah, I think a little bit dig at Sterling and Stones and anybody else, Bernardo perhaps. Just a little dig at some of the guys, KDB even. So he's got his dig in there, didn't he? On Cancelo, who was asked about Cancelo, he's a player with incredible quality. His regeneration, physicality is incredible. He could play tomorrow, so I think he'll be playing against Everton, won't he, Cancelo? In the final third, he has special quality, has courage. Sometimes I ask him to play in different positions and what he is comfortable with. So there you go. I think Pep has a bit of a Cancelo loving. I think most people have a bit of Cancelo loving last night. Quirky stats, here we go. Quirky stats up to Joe. Tonight's match was Manchester City's 900th in the Premier League. Won 424. That's not many, is it? Drawn 204, lost 272. Well, that includes the rubbishy City though as well, doesn't it? Goals for 1497. Goals against 1022. Manchester City have won each of their last 12 Premier League home games against Newcastle, scoring 41 and conceding just 7. It's the Citizens' longest winning home run. The Citizens, yes, against an opponent in their top flight history. Sterling has now 150 goal involvements in all competitions under Pep, becoming the first player to reach that total under the Spaniard for Manchester City, 96 goals and 54 assists. Sterling has now registered more assists in 21 appearances in all competitions this season than he managed in 52 games last season. Well done, Raheem, even though you're not playing that well. There you go. Among players younger than him within the top 5 European leagues, only Erling Haaland at 17 goals, 20 years, 158 days, has scored more goals in all competitions this season than Ferran Torres with 7 goals at 20 years, 301 days. You're in good company there, aren't you, mate? Manchester City have kept their 13 clean sheet of the campaign, more than any other team within the top 5 European leagues, and especially under the circumstances where results are a bit weird. Stat City. Man City have scored 274 goals against Newcastle in all competitions. Only against Aston Villa have they scored more goals against a single opponent. Manchester City have kept 7 clean sheets in their opening 14 Premier League matches and have only betted that tally once before in the Premier League era. That was 2018-2019, 8 after 14 games. I'd be surprised if we betted it many other eras, to be honest with you. Torres is the first player to score 7 goals in their opening 18 appearances for Manchester City since Kelechi Iheanacho. There you go. So he got 8 in his first 18. Torres is now Manchester City's joint leading goal scorer this season in all competitions, drawing level with Raheem Sterling at 7. City have now scored 46 goals against Newcastle United at the Etihad Stadium. Now, I think that's after the 2 last night. I'm not 100% sure, so forgive me if I've got that wrong. Scored 46 goals against Newcastle at Etihad Stadium in the Premier League, more than against any other opponent at this ground. Yeah, Manchester Evening News, Gundogan and Torres put Blues in charge, of course they do. Sky Sports, Ilkay Gundogan and Ferran Torres score in a comfortable City win. The Guardian, an easy win for City, who controlled the match from start to finish at a rainy Etihad. Yeah, that's a bit understating it, isn't it, a rainy Etihad. Daily Mail, a straightforward night's work for Pep Guardiola's team. I think that's probably correct, that, isn't it? So there you go. In conclusion, we're up to 5th, so there's the table there. And I think the commentator said we could have gone 4th, but they were ignoring the fact Everton were playing, I think. City up to 5th, Newcastle 12th, and I can't see they're going to change much to that position. I think they might drop a place or 2. I think they might go up 2 or 3 places. So I think that's about right. And as I said, I didn't predict a team for the Everton game on my preview. Please watch the preview. I did a double pivot preview with the Everton game and obviously this game last night. So if you go to it, you can actually click on a link to whereabouts in the video the Everton preview is. So it's about 11 minutes in or something like that. So you can go on and do that if you've not watched that yet, or if you've only watched the first bit of it. Yeah, so I didn't predict a team. So my team, basically, if everyone is fit after last night, I just see one change. I can only see one change at the Goodison. So my team is going to be Edison, Cancelo, Stones, Diaz, Ake, Rodri, Gundogan, Foden for Bernardo, KDB, Sterling and Torres. But as I said, I did worry about KDB being a bit tired. I can't see Aguero starting the game again, so I think he'll line up more or less what he did last night. And just do a basic switch Bernardo for Foden, which is probably okay. I mean, Bernardo's not his best. Foden obviously, as far as Pep is concerned, isn't quite at his best either. So there you go. Anyway, let me know what you think of that, what your team you'd put out there against that. So there you go. Thanks for joining me. Of course, I'll be back with a review of that Everton game on 29th of December. A bit later, but probably mid-afternoon. I'm working obviously in the morning, so I won't have time to put it all together overnight in early hours. So I will do that as quick as I can. So it's hopefully towards lunchtime on the 29th of December. And as I said, please check out that little preview on the Everton game that's still out there as well. And please check out my other little vlogs. That was the week that was covering the Saints and United game, a little quiz. So that's gone down all right at Christmas. People a bit bored doing the quiz, and so enjoy that. And of course, a Moments in Time special. A lot of people have been mentioning it, haven't they? But this covers the 4 games we played over the Christmas and New Year, 77, 78, of course, which included the Colin Bell Boxing Day thing. But I've done a little Moments in Time covering that 4 games, because they're all 4 excellent games for Manchester City. So not just the Colin Bell, but the rest of it as well. Inspired by Colin Bell, I think we can honestly say. And of course, please just check out that little memorial special. That's, as I say, I've sort of put that together and had a little quiet thought to myself while I was doing it and remembering people, and I myself have lost my close relatives have lost other relatives this year. So even though they're not necessarily Manchester City fans, obviously spared a thought for everyone who's sadly lost people in this horrible year. And I say, let's have fingers crossed. Let's hope, even though it may not initially look so good, things get better 2021. Anyway, I'll be back to wish you Merry 2021. Anyway, with my obviously I have a couple of things to come yet before that, so I'll be back for that. Anyway, thanks for joining me today for this big match review of City versus Newcastle United. A nice 2-0 win for Manchester City, a comfortable 2-0 win, and not too embarrassing for Newcastle. And all credit to both teams for putting in a reasonable display in such atrocious conditions. So there you go. Anyway, whatever you do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other until we meet again here on the Citizen channel. Or perhaps you flit over to my film and TV channel. This is Bernard saying, please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. See you all soon. Bye-bye.